The unthinkable just happened. Shaw has done what even the biggest names in music couldn't pull off. Her album just clocked in 100 consecutive weeks in the Billboard Top 10. That's right, 100 weeks of dominance. 2 entire years of sitting in the spotlight, refusing to budge, while other artists from Drake to Taylor Swift have struggled to hold their ground. But here's the catch. While the music industry is busy calling this historic, the internet isn't celebrating unanimously. Instead, a firestorm has erupted online with one burning question. Is SZA truly legendary, or is her success massively overrated? Because as soon as Billboard dropped the numbers, Twitter exploded with hot takes. Some fans are praising SZA as the voice of a generation, the woman who redefined R&B. But others? They're tearing her down, accusing her of being overhyped, industry-backed, and carried by TikTok trends more than actual talent. And it gets darker. Insiders claim other artists are furious behind the scenes, calling SZA's run a manufactured milestone fueled by playlist manipulation and shady label strategies. If that's true, then the crown SZA just earned might be built on shaky ground. So tonight, we're breaking it all down: the celebration, the backlash, the insider leaks, and the possibility that one of music's biggest milestones might actually be a ticking time bomb. But the real question is, when the smoke clears, will SZA walk away as an icon, or as the most overrated star of the decade? Before we dive into the chaos, let's rewind. Let's talk about how SZA even got here, because this milestone didn't just appear out of nowhere. It's the result of a storm years in the making, and now that storm has turned into a hurricane that's threatening to rip the industry in half. SZA, real name Solana Imani Rowe, didn't come into the music world with industry privilege or Hollywood connections. She was the underdog. It's a girl with wild hair, soft-spoken interviews, and lyrics that cut deeper than most of her peers dared to go. Her breakout moment came with CTRL in 2017, an album that critics and fans immediately labeled a modern classic. The project didn't just open doors, it smashed them down. It proved SZA wasn't just a background vocalist or an R&B whisper. She was here to rewrite the rules. But here's where things get complicated. After CTRL, fans waited 5 long years for another project. That silence could have killed her momentum. But instead, it made her myth even bigger. By the time SOS finally dropped in December 2022, anticipation was boiling over. And when the album hit, it didn't just chart. It dominated. We're talking record-breaking streams, viral TikTok audios, sold-out tours, and a cultural chokehold that very few artists, even the giants like Beyoncé or Rihanna, could maintain for that long. Track after track from SOS became an anthem. Kill Bill, Snooze Shirt, Nobody Gets Me, songs that didn't just perform. They defined moments in people's lives. So when Billboard confirmed the unthinkable, that SOS had spent 100 weeks in the Billboard Top 10, the music industry was stunned. For context, most albums barely last 10 weeks in the top 10, let alone 100. Only a handful of artists in history have pulled off numbers like this, and SZA just entered that elite club. But that's where the praise stopped and the controversy began. Because almost immediately, critics and fans alike started asking, is this really about the music? Or is it about algorithms, playlists, and marketing gimmicks? Is SZA's album a timeless masterpiece, or just the most successful TikTok-backed project of our generation? And here's the twist that has the internet spiraling. Insiders claim that some of SZA's biggest competitors are quietly furious. Rumors are swirling that label executives from other camps, yes, including artists we all know and love, have been whispering that SZA's 100-week run isn't as organic as it looks. Some are even saying her label poured millions into playlist engineering, a strategy where songs are deliberately kept on massive Spotify and Apple Music playlists to guarantee streams. This isn't just speculation, either. An anonymous insider allegedly leaked a memo claiming that Top Dog Entertainment and RCA used aggressive back-end deals to keep SCA's singles in heavy rotation long after their natural peak. If true, that would mean SCA's historic milestone isn't the flawless victory fans think it is, but a carefully manufactured record, designed to make her untouchable. And that's not the only shade being thrown. Certain critics are resurfacing old interviews where Estiva herself admitted to being insecure about her place in the industry. In one infamous clip, she confessed she never felt like the industry actually wanted her. Now, haters are spinning that into proof that her current dominance isn't real love, but corporate backing disguised as hype. Meanwhile, fans are tearing each other apart online. On one side, diehards are defending her with everything they've got, calling her the modern-day Lauryn Hill and the only artist keeping R&B alive. On the other side, detractors are saying she's all vibes, no substance, and that her 100 weeks are nothing more than proof that the industry is broken. And let's not forget, this milestone puts her in direct competition with the heavyweights. Artists like Drake, The Weeknd, and even Kendrick Lamar have all felt the sting of their projects slipping down the charts while SCA's album refuses to leave. Whether she wants it or not, SCA is now being painted as a threat to some of the biggest names in music, and you better believe egos are bruised. But here's where it gets really sinister. A leaked text thread, allegedly between two industry executives, suggests that another major female artist is preparing to drop a response album designed to snatch SZA's spotlight and end her chart dominance once and for all. Some fans think it's Doja Cat. Others whisper Beyoncé. But whoever it is, the fact that these whispers exist proves one thing. SZA's milestone has sparked a war inside the industry. And everyone's picking sides. And remember, we're only at the beginning. Because if the whispers about playlist manipulation, secret deals, and rival sabotage are true, then this milestone might not be a celebration at all. It might be the opening shot in one of the ugliest battles the industry has ever seen. So, buckle up, because what looks like a win for SZA may actually be a ticking time bomb. At first, the headlines were glowing. SZA makes history. SZA joins legends with 100 weeks in the Billboard Top 10. Fans flooded timelines with celebratory posts, calling it a win for R&B and the proof that real artistry still exists. But within hours, the celebration turned ugly. That's when a mysterious Twitter account, known only as @ChartHawkLeaks, dropped what appeared to be screenshots of internal emails from Spotify and RCA executives. The alleged emails showed conversations about extending playlist visibility for SS tracks even when streams were beginning to dip. One line in particular sent shockwaves. Ensure SOS remains in top pop and today's hits rotation. Pull budget from lower priority artists if necessary. Fans froze. Was this proof that SZA's record-breaking run wasn't organic at all, but the result of carefully engineered manipulation? At first, her fans dismissed it as fake. But then, a second wave of evidence hit. A TikTok creator with alleged industry ties posted a viral video claiming that he'd worked for a marketing firm hired by RCA to run artificial hype campaigns for Kill Bill months after its peak. His exact words, "We were paid to flood TikTok with fake viral audios, meme formats, and influencer placements. The whole point was to keep SSL songs trending, even when people had moved on." The video racked up 7 million views in 48 hours. Now the floodgates were open. Suddenly, everyone had a receipt. Screenshots of alleged dimes between playlist curators. Leaked contracts showing 6-figure budgets for engagement farming. even whispers that bots were used to artificially inflate streaming numbers. In international markets where ESSA had little presence, but the scandal didn't stop there. That's when the first major twist dropped, and it was even uglier than anyone expected. An anonymous source claiming to be a former TEED employee came forward with a bombshell. According to this insider, Setter herself was aware of the playlist deals and even approved them. The source leaked what looked like a text exchange between Shah and her manager. In the messages, SSZA allegedly wrote, "I don't care what it takes, SOS has to stay alive. I've waited too long for this album to flop now." If real, this wasn't just about label politics. It was about intent. It suggested that SZA wasn't the innocent victim of industry games, but an active participant in manipulating her own legacy. The internet erupted. Supporters refused to believe she'd be involved in something so calculated. But haters weaponized the leaks instantly. Hashtags like #SZA exposed and #fake Billboard Queen started trending. Memes mocked her as the algorithm princess and playlist puppet. And then came the most humiliating blow yet. Billboard itself announced they were reviewing the integrity of chart placements in light of new information. That's right, the very institution that gave Shah her crown was now hinting they might take it away, but here's where things spiraled completely out of control. Just as the narrative seemed to be turning against ESSA, another leak dropped, one that changed everything. A leaked voice memo, allegedly from Shah herself, surfaced online. In the audio, she could be heard sobbing and saying, "They promised me this would be my moment. I didn't want to cheat. They told me everybody else does it, so why not me?" Suddenly, the story wasn't just about fraud. It was about betrayal. About an artist who had been pressured, manipulated, maybe even forced into playing the same dirty games as her competitors. The voice memo split the internet in half. Was SCA complicit, or was she a victim of an industry machine that chews up artists and spits them out? Was she lying in that audio, or finally admitting the truth? But before fans could process, another shocking twist hit. Screenshots began circulating of a private Instagram DM exchange between two major artists, allegedly Doja Cat and Lizzo, in which they discussed SSCA's milestone. The alleged messages read, "Doja, she knows it's fake. We all know. I'm tired of acting like she's untouchable. Lizzo 100 weeks looks good on paper, but the streets don't feel it. People are being forced to care." If true, this wasn't just about critics or random fans. This was SZA's own peers dragging her behind the scenes. And let's not forget, Zed and Doja Cat had previously collaborated on the Kill Bill remix. If those messages were real, it meant Doja was smiling in public while tearing her down in private. The betrayal was stunning. The debate was vicious. And fans were demanding answers. But just when the internet thought it couldn't get any worse, the first major twist finally exploded into the spotlight. A new report dropped claiming that Billboard was considering disqualifying several weeks of SOS chart placements due to irregularities in reporting and playlist distribution. In other words, her 100-week streak might not just be tainted. It might be erased. Imagine it. One of the most celebrated milestones in modern music history wiped off the books. The reaction was immediate chaos. Fans begged Billboard not to strip SS achievement, arguing that even with playlisting, the songs connected with millions of people. Haters celebrated, claiming justice was finally being served. And through it all, Asha herself stayed silent. Not a single tweet. Not a single Instagram story. Nothing. And that silence, it was louder than any statement she could have made, because now, the question wasn't just whether SX milestone was fake, was whether her entire legacy was about to collapse before our eyes. When Billboard's statement about reviewing Irregularities dropped. It was like blood in the water. The debate, once confined to stan wars and gossip blogs, suddenly became the biggest headline in music. CNN ran a segment. Rolling Stone published a think piece titled SCAS 100. Weeks, Achievement, or Illusion? Even academics were chiming in, with one professor of media studies bluntly saying, "This case could redefine how we view chart legitimacy in the streaming era." And while SCA's silence made fans nervous, it also fueled speculation. Was she hiding? Was she negotiating behind the scenes? Or was she preparing for a scorched earth response that would shut everyone up? But then, out of nowhere, the controversy escalated to a nuclear level. A well-known hacker collective, the same group that had previously leaked celebrity iCloud photos and unreleased songs, claimed responsibility for the leaks. They posted a cryptic message on Telegram. "The SZA files are only the beginning. The industry runs on fraud, and we're here to prove it." Attached to the message was a massive data dump, gigabytes of files allegedly taken from record label servers. The files didn't just involve SZA. They included alleged contracts, emails, and spreadsheets revealing similar playlisting deals for artists across the board, from Ariana Grande to Drake. From Post Malone to the WEEKND. The hackers claimed that music industry had turned the Billboard charts into a rigged game of marketing budgets, and SZA just happened to be the first one caught in the storm. But the files included something far worse for SZA personally. What looked like a confidential 2023 contract addendum between RCA Records and Spotify, specifically guaranteeing extended placement for SOS singles until Q2 2024. In exchange for a multi-million-dollar marketing package. This wasn't just whispers or alleged DMS. This was paper trail evidence that her historic run may have been propped up by money. The internet went nuclear. Overnight, the conversation shifted from "Did SZA know?" to "The entire industry is dirty, but why is she the one getting burned?" And here's where the shocking reveal hit. Among the files was a set of audio recordings of label executives discussing artist compliance. In one tape, a male voice that fans believed to be an RCA exec could be heard saying, "She resisted at first. She said she didn't want to be seen as fake. But when Kendrick dropped The Heart Part 5 and the hype was crazy, we told her, flat out, if she didn't play ball, she'd get buried." That's when she signed the addendum. If true, it meant SZA had been forced into the very system she'd tried to avoid, her hand twisted because the label convinced her she'd never survive against her peers otherwise. That revelation detonated the debate like a bomb. On one side, critics doubled down. It doesn't matter if she was pressured. She still signed. She still let the fraud happen. On the other, defenders were more furious than ever. She's a victim. The label used fear to push her into this mess. The real villains are the execs. But the real firestorm came when Alicia Keys, of all people, unexpectedly entered that conversation. In an Instagram Live Q&A, a fan asked her about the SZA drama. Alicia paused, sighed, and said, "I've been in this game long enough to know how it works. Sometimes the charts don't reflect the music. Sometimes they reflect the money. And I don't think SZA should be the scapegoat for something way bigger." The clip went viral instantly. Alicia Keys wasn't just defending SZA, she was confirming the corruption of the industry, indirectly validating the leaks. And yet, it wasn't the biggest shocker of the night, because only hours later, a new leak hit social media. This time a video clip, allegedly recorded during a private industry party. The grainy footage showed Doja Cat and another artist gossiping. The audio was muffled, but one line was clear. She knows her whole run is fake. That's why she hasn't said a word. Fans slowed down the audio, matched voices, and swore it was Doja. Whether it was real or deepfaked didn't even matter. The damage was done now. It wasn't just hackers and insiders dragging SZA. It was her peers, her collaborators. The very people she'd worked alongside were apparently laughing at her behind her back. But then came the most shocking reveal of all. One that turned the entire scandal upside down. Late one night, a new document surfaced. This wasn't from the hackers. This wasn't from anonymous insiders. This was from Billboard themselves. It was a leaked draft of their upcoming integrity statement. And in it, Billboard flat out admitted they were considering retroactively stripping SOS of at least 20 weeks of chart placement due to playlist manipulation and marketing interference. If they went through with it, SZA's historic run would collapse from 100 weeks to 80, still impressive, but no longer record-breaking. Her name would vanish from the Legends Club, and her achievement would be forever marked with an asterisk. The internet's reaction was apocalyptic. Fans begged Billboard not to punish the artist for the label's scenes. Haters cheered, saying it was the only way to protect chart integrity. Industry voices weighed in, with some saying it would set a dangerous precedent, and others saying it was the only way to save the charts from total collapse. Through it all, SZA remained silent. No tweets, no interviews. Not even a cryptic Instagram story. And that silence. It was deafening, because now everyone knew one thing for sure. This wasn't just about one artist's milestone anymore. This was about whether the entire music industry was about to implode under the weight of its own secrets. And the scariest part? The hackers promised this was only phase one. What could possibly come next? The morning after the Billboard leak, the internet was a war zone. Twitter X timelines weren't just buzzing, they were on fire. Hashtags like #SaveSEA, #Billboard rigged, and #IndustryExposed were trending worldwide. TikTok was flooded with conspiracy breakdowns. Creators stitching hacker screenshots with eerie background music, and fans making emotional montages of SZA performances with captions like she deserved better. But it wasn't just fans weighing in. The entire music industry started throwing itself into the ring. First came the rappers. Meek Mill, never one to stay quiet, tweeted, "This why I stopped caring about charts years ago. It's all fake. Love and label tricks. Music is about the streets, not spreadsheets." Then, Nicki Minaj, in a now-deleted voice note on Stationhead, seemed to throw shade too. "Y'all acting shocked. I've been told y'all about the games labels play. When I said it, I was the bad guy." Her Barb's army instantly amplified it, with many spinning it as a veiled jab, not just at labels, but at Sev herself. But perhaps the most surprising reaction came from Kendrick Lamar. During a festival performance, right before launching into Humble, Kendrick paused, looked into the crowd, and said, 100 weeks, 1,000 weeks? None of that means nothing if the music ain't real. Remember that? He didn't name names, but the crowd gasped. Everyone knew exactly what he was referencing. And then came the pop stars. Adele, during a London residency, reportedly told the audience, "I don't care if my songs chart for 10 weeks or 10 minutes. Music is about feeling." These poor artists, they're trapped in a system that doesn't care about them. I hope SZA is all right. The clip spread like wildfire, painting Adele as one of the few major stars openly defending Shah. But while celebs debated, fans went nuclear. On Instagram, SZA's latest post, a casual photo of her in a green hoodie from weeks ago, became a battleground. Thousands of comments piled up. "Queen, we got your back. #SaveSCA. Say something. Your silence is making it worse. Stop playing victim. You signed the deal." Meanwhile, TikTok's investigative creators were dissecting every line of the leaked RCI Spotify contract, analyzing clauses like they were CIA documents. One viral video even slowed down the alleged Doja Cat clip, arguing it was 90% authentic based on voice analysis. Another claimed the hackers had way more dirt they hadn't dropped yet. Teasing names like Drake and Post Malone, the media, too, smelled blood. The New York Times ran a headline, "SCAA's silence amid chart scandal raises more questions." Variety published an editorial titled, "If Billboard strips her weeks, the system will never recover." Even TMZ ambushed RCA executives outside a restaurant, asking, "Did you pay for SZA's chart run?" Their silence went viral in itself. But the reactions weren't just online. At a live radio show in Atlanta, fans booed when the DJ tried to play Kill Bill. In New York, posters started popping up saying Billboard equals fraud with SZA's face plastered on them. Meanwhile, in LA, a group of die-hard fans organized a candlelight vigil outside RCA headquarters, holding signs like "Let her breathe" and "It's the label, not her." And then came the bombshell industry response. Billboard finally spoke publicly. In an official statement on Good Morning America, a Billboard spokesperson said, "We are aware of the documents circulating online and are conducting a full investigation. We want to assure fans that we are committed to chart integrity. As for the speculation regarding SZA's record, we have not yet made any final determinations." The non-answer only made things worse. Fans took it as confirmation that Billboard was preparing to slash SZA's record. Critics mocked the vagueness, calling it cowardly. Meanwhile, the hackers returned with a chilling warning. In a new Telegram post, they wrote, "The label thinks they can scapegoat SZA. If they try, we'll burn the whole house down." Part 2, incoming. The music industry froze. Who was next? Drake, Doja, the weak date. But then came a reaction that nobody saw coming. SZA's own mother. On Facebook, yes, Facebook, she shared a post defending her daughter, "My child. Worked day and night on her music. Don't let these people tell you otherwise. The world is cruel, but God knows the truth." That one post reignited the fanbase's loyalty, with #ProtectSCA trending again. Yet skeptics still flooded replies, insisting even family couldn't erase the paper trail by the end of the week. The reactions reached such a fever pitch that Saturday Night Live did a skit parodying the scandal, portraying Billboard execs as cartoonish villains pulling levers marked fake streams and paid playlists. The sketch ended with Shah, played by a guest star, walking on stage, silently holding a giant receipt. The audience howled, but for SCA's real fans, it wasn't funny, because at the heart of all this noise, one thing remained unchanged. Shah herself had said nothing. No tweets, no statement, no interview, just silence. And that silence? It was louder than all the screams, because everyone knew silence usually means a storm is coming. For days, the silence from SZA camp was deafening. Fans begged haters, mocked, and the industry whispered. But when the breaking news alert hit every phone screen on a Sunday night, nobody was prepared for what it revealed. The hackers weren't bluffing. They had unleashed Part 2, a 90-second video dropped on their Telegram channel, captioned, "Final Warning." It showed what appeared to be a Zoom call between high-ranking RCA executives, a Billboard chart director, and, shockingly, a Spotify playlist curator. The grainy footage had all the makings of a covert recording. Blurred screens, muffled voices, the occasional cough in the background. But the words, crystal clear. One exec said, "We can't let Kendrick's record stand. His audience doesn't pay for bundles. But SZA, she's perfect. We pad her streams, extend her run, and Billboard eats it up. It's the only way to keep our leverage." The room gasped. Kendrick's name wasn't just implied, it was spelled out. Suddenly, what seemed like an SSZ-only scandal transformed into a direct attack on one of the most respected rappers alive. But the bombshell didn't stop there. At the end of the video, a distorted voiceover from the hackers declared, "This is not just about SEA. This is about every artist. You wanted names? Look closer. Part 3 will burn everything." The internet lost its mind. Twitter/X lit up with hashtag Justice for Kendrick trending alongside hashtag SaveSZA. Some fans speculated this was the proof Kendrick had subtly hinted at in his festival. Speech TikTokers made wild theories. Some claimed Kendrick knew this was coming and planted cryptic bars in unreleased snippets. Others insisted this was a setup to pit two of the most beloved black artists against each other. But then, Essa finally broke her silence. On Instagram Live, her first in weeks, she appeared with swollen eyes and a trembling voice. Wearing a plain black hoodie, she looked directly at the camera and said, "I never asked for any of this. I didn't pay for streams. I didn't make these deals. I just made my music. And now, I'm the face of something I didn't create. I don't know if I can keep doing this." The live cut off after just 3 minutes, but those 3 minutes detonated across the culture. Fans sobbed, convinced she was a victim. Others mocked, calling it Oscar-level acting. And lurking beneath the chaos was the chilling realization. Essu sounded like someone who might quit music altogether. Meanwhile, insiders whispered that Kendrick's team was furious. According to one anonymous source, Top Dog Entertainment wants a public apology from Billboard. They don't get it? Kendrick might air his own receipts. Imagine that, Kendrick, the most private man in rap, being pushed into an out war against the system. And as if things couldn't get darker, TMZ then reported that RCA was considering pulling SCA's entire catalog from streaming platforms to buy time. While the investigation unfolded, pulling an artist's catalog is the nuclear option, the kind of move that ruins careers overnight. The hackers responded instantly, posting one final terrifying line: "If they erase her, we erase them all." Fans began speculating that Part 3 of the leaks would include names like Drake, Taylor Swift, or even Beyoncé. The suspense was unbearable. Everyone was refreshing, waiting, watching. But then came the cliffhanger of all cliffhangers at exactly midnight. Billboard's official Twitter X account posted, then instantly deleted, a cryptic message. It simply read, "Tomorrow, 12 p.m. ET. Official announcement regarding SZA's chart record." Screenshots spread like wildfire. Theories exploded. Was Billboard going to strip her record? Were they going to blame her outright? Or worse, would they announce that the hackers had breached their own systems? By dawn, the entire industry was holding its breath. And SZA, she hadn't been seen since her Instagram Live. Her phone was reportedly off. Our paparazzi staked outside her house in New Jersey claimed her car never moved. Fans started trending hashtag "Where is SZA?" convinced something bigger was happening behind closed doors. The stage was set. The world was waiting. Tomorrow at noon, everything would change. But the final, most shocking twist came not from Billboard, not from RCA, not from the hackers, but from an unexpected voice. As the clock ticked toward midnight again, Kendrick Lamar posted a single sentence on Instagram stories: "Don't let them play us." No hashtags, no context. Just that, the post disappeared in less than 2 minutes, but by then, screenshots had already gone viral. Fans screamed that Kendrick was about to go nuclear. Others insisted he and SZA were secretly teaming up. But the truth, nobody knew. And, with Billboard's official announcement just hours away, the biggest question in music remained unanswered. Would this be the day SZA's career ended? Or the day the entire music industry burned to the ground? And now we're left hanging on the edge of the biggest music scandal of the decade. SZA's legacy, Kendrick's silence-shattering post, Billboard's mysterious announcement, all of it is colliding in real time. But here's the question that nobody can answer yet. What happens next? Will Billboard strip SZA's record and confirm what the hackers claim? Or will they double down and protect her at all costs, sparking even more backlash? And what about Kendrick? Is he about to drop a track that blows the roof off this entire system? Or is he secretly working with SZA to expose the truth together? I want to hear it straight from you. Do you believe SZA is an innocent victim, caught in a dirty industry game? Or do you think she's been hiding the truth all along? Do you think Kendrick's late-night post was a warning to Billboard, or a cryptic message aimed directly at his fans? And most importantly, if Part 3 of the leaks really does drop, whose name do you think will get exposed next? Drake, Taylor, or maybe someone even bigger? Drop your theories in the comments right now, because trust me, this debate is about to set the internet on fire. Smash that like button if you think Kendrick is about to break the industry wide open. Hit subscribe so you don't miss a single update, because the second Billboard speaks, I'll be here breaking it all down for you, raw, unfiltered, and with every shocking detail the mainstream media won't touch. This story is far from over. In fact, it's only just beginning. The music industry is shaking, the fans are divided, and the truth, it's coming whether they like it or not. Stay tuned, because tomorrow might just be the day everything changes forever.